Hey guys, Tom Barton here from TomBartonSports.com. We're going to answer the question today, are the Jacksonville Jaguars the next great NFL team? And I'm talking about not just this year, but for years to come. Go check me out at TomBartonSports.com, Tom Barton Sports over on Twitter, TomBartonSports@gmail.com. You can get in touch with me there. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. I want to hear from you about your thoughts. Let's get into it here, guys. Look, before the year began on all of my radio shows across the country, I sat down and I told everybody the Jacksonville Jaguars were going to win this division, okay? I also said it was going to be a great second half. They won 6 of the last 7 final games because there was a lot of undoing that Doug Peterson had to do with Urban Meyer and how disastrous that really was. Well, that took some undoing, and here they are. Jacksonville not only won the division, they won a playoff game, they came from behind, and I'm starting to ask myself, in an absolutely loaded AFC, are the Jacksonville Jaguars the team that in 5, 6, 10 years from now we're going to be going, wow, that is the juggernaut? I don't want to use the word dynasty because the dynasty you got to win, 3 or 4 championships or so. But a team that consistently wins their division, constantly in the playoffs, the next great team. Yeah, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are. And I thought that before the year. Look, let's look at the obvious thing right off the top. Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson is a championship coach. You may not have liked him with his exit and what he did. Look at what he did for Carson Wentz. Now look at what he's doing for Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has been a winner his entire career. I'm sure you've heard, hey, you know what? He's never lost on a Saturday. And all of this, by the way, I don't care if they lose to Kansas City on Saturday. I don't care if they lose to Kansas City in the divisional round. Now, if they win, this video is going to be great. But if they lose, it doesn't matter. Going to KC, going to Arrowhead, you've already done what you had to do this year, which is win the division, win basically a playoff game against the Titans, and then win an actual playoff game in comeback fashion. But Doug Peterson knows how to win, and he knows how to instill a culture of winning. That is first and foremost. Then you look at Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, forget about the 4 interceptions he threw in the first half, and forget about even the 4 touchdowns he threw in the second half, which really made him look good. Trevor Lawrence, at the end of the year, in that 6 wins in 7-game stretch, had 12 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Trevor Lawrence does not make mistakes. Trevor Lawrence has not lost on Saturdays. Why? Because the guy's a winner, right? He won in high school. He led men in high school. He led, men into college. He didn't really lose in college. He was fantastic. Now he gets to the pros. He had 1 bad season, and we're going to write him off? Absolutely not. He's still the most talented quarterback I ever saw coming out of college since Andrew Luck, right? I mean, I would put it in a line of Elway, Luck, and Trevor Lawrence. That's pretty good company for that kind of player. You look at what they have surrounding him. Travis Etienne, he knows him from college. He knew what he can be. And Travis Etienne is really growing up, and kind of as the season's gone on, we see exactly who he can be. The offensive line is solid. It's not great. The tight end, Evan Ingram's having a good season, but it's not great. But the wide receivers, yeah, they're coming into their own. Here's the thing. They don't have a number 1 wide receiver, right? Christian Kirk is a really good number 2, and you have a couple of guys like a Marvin Jones and whatnot. You have some complimentary guys. Zay Jones is a complimentary guy with all kinds of talent. But they do have Calvin Ridley coming back. Forget about, oh, yeah, well, what did Calvin Ridley do to get thrown out of the league? What did he do when he was in the league? He can be a true number 1. So I see huge things from this offense. And that is to say, if they don't make any other moves in the offense over the next couple of years, that is massive if Calvin Ridley could come back and be the number 1. And then you look at the defense. They've spent massive draft capital on getting good defensive players. Josh Allen, they have a Josh Allen of their own. You look at Walker. They have really reinvented this defense. And now they're going to be able to, because they have the key offensive positions pretty much locked up, they're going to be able to really concentrate on getting that defense really secured over the next couple of years. But one of the big reasons why I look at Jacksonville as maybe the next great team is his division. Look, a lot of these things that you could talk about, Brady and what he did for so long. Look, Brady was the greatest I've ever seen, and Belichick was amazing, and the Patriots were. But the Dolphins were a mess. The Bills for years couldn't get out of their own way, and the Jets, well, the Jets are the Jets. You look at Patrick Mahomes, he's in a really tough division. And I don't know, and I can't say with 100% certainty, that a Patrick Mahomes team with an aging Travis Kelce that probably won't be there in about 2 years, with a defense that's still up and down, with a running game they're still trying to find, are they going to be able to hold off whatever the Raiders do? Are they going to be able to hold off Justin Herbert? and his new coach and what they're putting around him there. The same thing with the Buffalo Bills. Look, I like Buffalo a lot. But again, a lot of that team is to win right now. What are they going to be in a year or two? The Jets seem to be coming up. New England almost made the playoffs this year. Miami is only a non-Tua injury away and maybe 3 points away from knocking them off. So I think that that's a tough division. Lamar, Watson, we don't know what their situation is. Pittsburgh looked good at the end. And then you got Joe Burrow. I think that's a very competitive division. So you start to look at Jacksonville. You have the Tennessee Titans that clearly need they need something on offense. They need a quarterback, and Derrick Henry's not lasting that much longer. Look, Derrick Henry could defy a lot of things, but he's not going to be in the league tearing it up in 2 or 3 years from now. You look at their quarterback situation, I don't think that they feel like they have one. If they did, well, Dobbs wasn't going to be it, and Malik Willis has taken over. The Houston Texans are starting from scratch. They don't have a quarterback. They don't even have a coach right now. We don't know what Houston is. Their defense is in shambles. And the Colts, well, the Colts are in the same situation. No quarterbacks. So that entire division has no quarterbacks. Most of that division has no head coach. Guys, it's a mess. So you look at that division and you go, Jacksonville can not only win this year like they did, but they can continue to rack up win after win after win. Everybody's looking at the San Francisco 49ers and what they did this year. Well, San Francisco went 7-0 against their division and 7-4 against everybody else. Well, that's something that Jacksonville can do for years to come. Jacksonville is on the upswing. They're ahead of the game here. And when we start talking about the next great team in the AFC and who's going to rule it, it's always, is it going to be Burrow? Is it going to be Mahomes? Is it going to be Allen? Is it going to be Herbert? Well, you better throw Trevor Lawrence's name in there because Trevor Lawrence is going to have home field advantage in the playoffs, at least one home playoff game. He's going to win a lot of division titles, and that team is growing as a young team around him. Kansas City is a win-now mode. They're going to look very, very different in 2 years. Buffalo's a win-now mode, going to look very, very different in 2 years. Even Cincinnati, who is relatively young, looks like they may even lose T. Higgins. They're going to look very different in a year or two. The Jacksonville Jaguars core is there. It's there for a long time, and it's going to be there for a long time. No matter what they do on Saturday here, no matter how they perform against Kansas City, the Jacksonville Jaguars are the real serious threat in the AFC. Not only to the teams like Kansas City and Buffalo, but to a team for the next decade to absolutely take over and control the AFC. They are often overlooked, and for a good reason. All of the elements are in place. Do not sleep on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Guys, tell me what you think. Am I completely off base? Am I already ahead of it? Or wait a minute, maybe you're watching this and Jacksonville just upset Kansas City on Saturday and I'm a prophet. We'll see. But I do think that everyone's still sleeping on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't think that they could go out there and really beat Kansas City on Saturday. And if they do, hey, great. But it doesn't matter. I am only looking at this team long-term. The Jacksonville Jaguars long-term are the team to watch in the AFC. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Please like and comment below. Subscribe to the channel. Go check me out at TomBartonSports.com and Tom Barton Sports over on Twitter. Thanks. Have a good day.